Interrupts. There are two types of interrupts: hardware interrupts and software interrupts. Hardware interrupts are where a device may trigger an interrupt by sending a signal to the CPU, usually by the way of system bus. And coming to the software interrupts, it may be a program. It will be a program that may trigger an interrupt by executing a special operation called as system call. So a software generated interrupt, sometimes it can be called as a trap or exception, and this is caused either by an error or uh, through a user request. So for example, it may be the request which is made by an IO request. Generally, a operating system is interrupt driven. So common functions of interrupts. So when an interrupt occurs, the operating system preserves the state of the CPU by storing the registers and the program counter. It will determine which type of interrupt has occurred and transfers the control to the interrupt service routine. An interrupt service routine, it is a collection of routines or modules, each of which is responsible for handling one particular interrupt. Example, it may be from a printer, it may be from a disk, etc. The transfer is generally through the interrupt vector. The transfer of the interrupt will be through the interrupt vector, which contains the addresses of all the service routines. Interrupt architecture must save the address of the interrupted instruction. So here is a interrupt timeline diagram which represents whenever a interrupt occurs, how the control will be transferred from CPU to IO device and from IO device to CPU. So this diagram represents the previous concept, that is how the control will be transferred from CPU to the IO and IO to the CPU, IO controller to the CPU. So the process starts from the CPU. So device driver, it will initiate the IO and this request will be sent to the IO controller. Now from the IO controller, it will check what is the input, and in the input ready, it will do the processing and it will complete the output.